Hello everybody, welcome to Always Yarn First. I'm Lindsey and I'm coming to you from Central Arkansas. I am a knitter, crochet, spinner, Tunisian crocheter, and just lover of yarn. So welcome. I work at Arkansas Yarn Co. and I am a virtual assistant. So if you'd like to follow me on all my yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Let's get into it. Today is Wednesday, July 2nd. It's about 11 o'clock and this is episode 92. If this is your first visit in, welcome. I hope you will find something you enjoy and will stick around. I do a traditional podcast style, and today I have finished objects, a cast on, whips, a podcast highlight, and acquisitions. And I always name every episode after a song title because before my love of yarn was my love of music. And this time I went with Hangin' Around by the Counting Crows because we'll see an old whip that's been here for a while today. I do have a Spotify playlist listed below that you can find every episode song title down there and you can follow. Also, I am hosting a year-long make-along on my Ravelry page. It is the Love My Stash Mal. The only rules is you need to use yarn that you had before this calendar year, and the project that you post needs to be at least 50 grams of yarn. So, since it is July, I have a June winter, which is Crafty Left-handed. Crafty Left-handed. If you can contact me, you can either DM me on Ravelry, or you can email me at AlwaysYarnFirst@gmail.com. And if you are a US winner, I will send a prize package out to you. And if you are not, then I will get a pattern prize for you and send it your way. I did forget also today we're going to go over goals because it is the first of the month. All right, let's get into the making. I have two finished objects, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen these. I actually posted them together. So here's my first ones. These are my vanilla socks for last month. I'm doing the year-long make-along with Night Owl Fibers yarn. This is Board Game Money. And I did toe up with a US 1 needle, and I did an afterthought heel. So I just kept knitting in my tube, bound off up the top, and then I cut in my heels. And then I have these wee baby socks. I did a class at Arkansas Yarn Co. for beginner socks. We did the one sock in Magic Loop in class, and then I finished up the second sock. This is the pattern Perfect Newborn Socks by Tabitha Gandee. I previously mentioned you will find this on Ravelry, however, it's not connected to an actual downloadable PDF anymore. This was always a free pattern. I do have a copy of it on my computer, so if you see these and would like this pattern, just email me and I will send you over the PDF. So those will just go in a stash because I surely don't need those. And this, which I finished the day before. You have to finish your socks at the end of the month, and I did it the last day. So cutting it close again. So that leads me right into new cast-ons. And my new cast-on, let's get right into my Night Owl socks for July. Because this one was so last minute that I finished, I decided July 1st, I immediately got up and wound my yarn for July and got to work early enough where I was able to cast on my sock. So I'm not very far, but I've started it. Sorry if you're hearing my cat meowing. He is on a playful rampage right now. So nothing I can do about that. But here is the beginning. I decided to do these ones cuff down. So I do have a free pattern online for my cuff down vanilla socks. It is called Basic Cuff Down Socks by me. My cat's going to try to jump up here. And I am using the color this month, Bird Watching. So here it is in the cake. And I forgot to look yesterday if we had this one in stock. I feel like I've had this in my stash for a little bit. But we do carry this yarn at Arkansas Yarn Co. Yeah, and there's the cat. Hello, cat. There is my fluffy Muppet cat. Hi. I know. You gotta get down though. Now I'm gonna have cat hair on my nose. Whew. So this is my only new cast on, but we are only on July 2nd, so it's early. Moving right along, shall we get into whips? All right, let's start with my Anesidora shawl. Now, we're going to go into goals later, but this one was on my list to catch up with last month. Didn't happen, although I had forgot the last podcast I did 2 weeks ago. I had actually worked on this before the podcast, but then I saw a mistake and I was going to have to rip back to exactly where I started from. So I felt like it was frivolous to talk about it when I was going to have to rip back. So this is the one I am using, Gritty Knits All Year Advent. I started this when she started the Advent. Let's see, I should do it this way. Down here. She gave me a bonus color 0, otherwise this is color 1. And I basically am using 4 rows of each color. I think that's right. Yes. So at first, on the first half, when I'm doing the increases, the color happens to land on these special stitches. And then I get to where I'm decreasing, which happens right in these oranges. Basically, here you see the color is in those specialty stitches, and then the pattern has you change it up, or now the color is like these garter stitches, and the white is the specialty stitches. So I am in the decreasing, and then I'll show you where I was. I get 2 minis a month, and I pretty much have just added 2 minis since I've last shown this. I'm trying to get my yarn out of the way. There we go. So you can see my stitch marker. I just basically got my 2 months done. So yeah, I still have, well, again, kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit, but I have, here I have 2 months. I'll just drop some yarn. So this is 2 months, plus in my acquisitions, you'll see this last month's. So I am still 3 months behind. When I have time to work on this, usually I can catch up for a few months, so not worried. And each one of these has the number on. So if you would want to start on this subscription now, you'll know what colors go in order if you even stash them for a while. Yeah. I'm trying to think of where to put these now. So that is my Anesidora shawl by Lindsey Fowler. Still enjoying that project. And I want to get caught up and start staying caught up since I'm on the decrease side, so I can be paying attention, because then I'll be canceling my subscription because I got them just for this project. All right, so next, let's talk about what I've recently pulled out, my Hangin' Around project. I have talked about that I'm using a wheel app on my phone, and unless I have like priorities I want to get done that week. So I will spin the wheel and find an old whip that's just sitting back here and devote some time to work on it. Again, I don't have to devote any certain amount of time. I just need to move it forward, get refamiliar with it so that it's not chilling out for so long. This one has been around a long time. I've talked about this on the podcast before. I started this project when it was like a real mental block for me. So this is in a By the Lakeside bag. And this is the Batad by Stephen West. I had seen this at a different yarn shop and she was wearing it. I'm like, that is awesome. Just need 2 skeins of yarn. Excellent. Awesome. So I got it. And you start with the welts in this pretty much immediately. And at the time, I was still a fairly new knitter. I had never done a technique like this, and it was just like I could not wrap my brain around it. Since then, I have worked on it a little bit. So it is shawl, scarf, poncho-ish. So you see that on this side, it's shorter. So you're doing short rows. And so this side will like lay right here around your neck. But I do have a couple of welts. And let's see where I know I have a progress keeper on here. So it says since the last time I've shown it, I've done the welt. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but you can see my progress keeper below the welt here. Because I had gotten this project out and I asked Jessa to help me, and then she explained the welt and I'm like, oh, okay, that's not hard at all. I don't know why. But I started this project in 2018. So it has been around for a while, but still did not frog it, didn't want to frog it, still want the product. So this is a great thing. It came up on my wheel for my project this week. So I had already done the welt, but I think I had just done the welt. So I've made all this, and now I'm getting ready to, I think I have to knit like 8 rounds. And then I'll do the next welt because I just changed color back to the real dark orange. This is Hedgehog fiber. The light orange is Monarch. And the dark orange with the teals and stuff is Guppy. And these colors are still available today. I love it. I think it'll be super fun. But I had just gotten done with this section, switched the color, so now I'm just knitting, and then I'll be doing the welt part. Really happy that I'm making progress with this. So, because who knows when we'll see this next, I'm going to move this marker up. Kind of hard to see on my end. There we go. All right, so that is my hanging around project. Truly, I would love to get that done this year. That would be a major win for me. All right, what else do we have? So let's talk about the flax. The flax DK is in a Woolly Beans bag. This is the one I'm doing in conjunction with our sweater weather workshop at Arkansas Yarn Co., teaching people how to make their first sweater. I am making the videos for that. And in fact, this weekend, I will be making video number 4. So the last video was when we split 4 sleeves. So you can see mine here. This pattern is by Tin Can Knits, by the way. It's a free pattern, raglan. So there's my sleeves. I have taken it to a couple movies at the theater. I made some good progress, but the homework before classwork 4 is to finish your body. So being that I'm doing the next class in 2 days, that's not going to be done. But the next class is picking up sleeves and starting the sleeve. So I will still have to work on my body, but I will be filming picking up a sleeve and working on that. So this is going very well. Very happy with it. It is a plain colored sweater. Nothing wrong with that. Just for me, It makes it very boring to work on. So that's why I'm struggling to work on it in the time frame I have. But like I said, thankfully, I don't need this body done to pick up the sleeves. So, yeah. But I'm making good progress on it. And I am using Malabrigo Arroyo DK in the color Polar Morn. It's kind of a light gray blue color, depending on when you look at it. I just figured this would be a good basic color to have in my wardrobe that will go with a lot of things. And again, that is a free pattern, and I definitely suggest you get the Tin Can Knits app, which again is free, and it's so easy to follow your patterns. So good. All right, I've worked on one other project. This is in a Happy Little Yarn Bag by Amy. And this is my crochet project. I am using Arkansas Yarn Co. 2024 Advent, which was the Wonka Advent. And again, here I have my marker right here. Okay, well, right there, because it was stuck through a hole. There you go. You can see my rainbow marker. Last time I was 2 color in. Now I am in my 5th color. And this is called, I think the official name of the pattern is Mrs. Fezziwig, a crocheted Advent wrap. So this was literally made for an Advent. And I don't know if I think she does more specific things with the color, but I did not want to stress about that. So I'm basically doing 2 rows where I'm going across and I'm coming back, and then I'm switching colors. So I do have some ends here, which I am not stressed out about. After a certain while, I'll go through and crochet them all together, so it's not, I'm waiting till the end of the project to do them all. But I'm really enjoying this. Lori's Advent last year was a variegated, then a tonal, then a variegated, then a tonal. So I think that helps to kind of tone down all the speckles and variegations. But yeah. And again, I'll show how I'm keeping my Advent. I got this box with 24 spots. So you can see I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 and 6 in my bag here currently, and then I have the rest in order. And these aren't even wound yet, but then once I've wound them, I go back in there and I will reuse them back in order until I'm happy with the length or until I run out of yarn, whichever comes first. Probably when I'm happy with the length, because a few years ago, I did a crochet project with an Advent, and I'm like, I'm going to use up the yarn, which was awesome, but it was so big. It was like crazy big. So I'll probably just go until I feel comfortable with the length that I'm happy with. Especially every time I get through the 24 colors, I'll kind of just analyze it and see like, okay, no, I need another whole round, see how long it is. And once I get through the first 24 colors, I'll probably measure it, see what my length is, because it's just meant like a wrap over your shoulders, shawl. So yeah, very happy with that. It's kind of fun to have a crochet project on my hook. That is all my whips. I still have not done any spinning lately. This is going to be a fast one because I feel like because Kat was in playful mode, I'm talking fast, and I have an appointment in a couple hours, and I was hoping that if I got everything done this morning in a timely manner, that I would go reward myself with the pool here for just even an hour, because that's about all I want anyway. So that's my goal, is to get this podcast done and head to the pool for a little bit and get some sun. All right, so let's get into a podcast that I have recently found. And this podcast is called Moth Folk Studio. Her name is Sunny. She talks about yarny goodness, but she also is an artist. It has beautiful things, and she has a website where she sells her art things. So definitely go give her a like, subscribe. She has, I think, maybe 11 podcasts, so not too terribly a ton of them, but I love her personality, and her, like I said, her art is adorable. So go give her a check out. All right, we are going to get into acquisitions very briefly because, again, besides a subscription, I have not purchased anything. So, yay. And then we will finish up with our goals talk. So Lori, my boss and friend, just went to Scotland with her husband. This was a non-nitty vacation, but did find some time to get some, yarny things. And she brought home gifts for us girls at the shop. Actually, I heard that Scott, her husband, picked this out. It is a felting kit. It's super cute. Wee Coo. I love this guy. I am so bad at felting. Lori has done a few felting classes both at our retreat and at the store. And I feel like I watch her do it and it just makes it look so easy, but I struggle so hard. So I really, really want to make this, but I also really don't want to screw it up. But this comes with everything you need for it. It has the felting needles, the foam mat, and the fiber. So it says difficulty 1. Difficulty 1 sheep out of 5. We'll see. But that's super, super cute. And then, like I said, I had got my gritty knits. This is my June gritty knits. So here are the colors for that. And I just got charged for my July, so that will be shipped out mid-July. But I would love to get, let's see, I still have the other ones right here. This is color 46. I'm trying to put them in order here. 43, 2. All right, so here's the order from my left here. Is where we're at to the most recent one. So kind of gives you an idea of her colors that go next to each other, if you like her style. Yes. And that's all. That's all I've gotten. So yay. The Arkansas Yarn Crawl is this month. It starts July 18th through the 26th. And I know personally for our shop that we have 5 different trunk shows, which means special stuff, plus almost every yarn that we have in the shop, we've done a reorder to stock up, plus a couple other things, including fiber. So spinners, fiber has been ordered. I'm excited. I am super excited. But it's very dangerous, so I am trying to be so good and buy nothing at the shop because I know over a week of yarn crawl, not buying anything is just not going to be doable. I'm going to try to be as good as possible, but nothing, that's just not realistic. So, yes. All right, so let's get into our last segment here, our June goals. So it is a new month. I kind of like to talk about what my goals were for last month and what I plan on doing this month. So my June goals, I had 3 finished objects. I had the 2 I just showed you, and then I had my 3rd Tolsta that I made for a friend of mine, Tara. Then I had 3 cast-ons. So my yarn in, and this is 50 gram skeins or above, I had 3. That makes my total for the year 55, and I had 5 out, which makes my total for the year 34. So still way more yarn in than out, but that's fine. And then my grams stitched, and this is just what I keep track of. This is basically my finished objects, but what they equaled in grams. So between those 3 finished objects, I had 323 grams out. My goals for last month were to finish my Now Owl socks, which I did at the very end, to finish the Tulsa for a friend, which I did, and to catch up with my Anesidora, which I did not. So for July, right off the bat, those 2 goals just forward on. Night Owl socks is every month this year so that I can stick out the whole year of the make along. So Night Owl socks, which I've already cast on. To catch up with my Anesidora, I did make some progress on that. So I'm hoping for me catching up would be if I have all of these stitched. Now I'll get 2 more, but sometimes I won't get it till the end of the month. So if I have these 6 colors stitched in, that would meet my goal for the month. And then I also would like to finish the Harlow flip. I am at the point of that hat where I'm ready to do the decreases, so there isn't much left. But because it's brioche, again, I had like just not even a hiccup. Sometimes when I'm not as comfortable with how to move forward with something, I will just stop right, but like, okay, I'm done for the day, because I might need to watch a video and really concentrate on it. Not that I can't do it, just I'm going to need to concentrate. So I set it aside and I haven't picked it up, but I know I'm so close to that, and I have no problem with brioche stitches, so I'm sure the decreases are not a big deal. I just need to sit down and have a quiet moment to do that. So hopefully that will get done this weekend because I have Friday off. That is my goals for July. That is all I have today, guys. It's a short one. I'm still excited about my making. I'm loving the wheel app. Love, love, love it so much. Oh, also, I did want to do a little shout out to Jenny Lee Knits. I will post her link to her YouTube channel below, because with my make along and her make along together, they're kind of like same but not. So my make along for the year is Love Your Stash, and it needs to be a 50 grams at least in your project to count. And hers is the opposite. So hers, she's doing a scrappy mal. So if you have scraps and little bits, so if you made a project like a little gnome or baby socks or something, dishcloth, and it does not have 50 grams in your project, so it wouldn't count on my make along. But go over to Jenny Lee Knits. You should be watching her podcast anyway, so go check her out and enter on her make along for this scrappy mal. Okay, that's it, you guys. I hope that you're all doing well, that you have projects that you're loving, and you're enjoying your summer, whether it's hot like it is here, or whether you're in the cool part of the year. I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.